Howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain of Steves, and today, chums, I want to talk about my most favouriteest game in the whole wide world, No Man's Sky. But more so than that, I want to talk a little bit about Sean Murray's latest post over on the Twitterverse. Let's go and hit on up the Twitterverse, shall we, people? So, Grand Theft Auto has been delayed. It's been delayed until next May, and they released a new trailer. Inside of said trailer or screenshots, Sean of the Murrays, with his eagle-eyed Sean, has noticed that the flip-flops go underneath the pedals. Underneath the pedals! I mean, that does keep your foot connected to the pedal a little bit better, doesn't it? Some might say that that could be genius! Others might say, well, you know, the flip-flop could come off and get stuck in your freaking spokes and you're going to have an accident. But to say that could be why it's delayed when No Man's Sky, when it got launched, was in a very buggy state. I think from the back of this, Sean, people are going to expect Light No Fire to be a bug-free experience. If you've managed to spot these sandals doing something odd on the pedals, you're going to have the same eagle eyes when it comes to the launch of Light No Fire. And that could be why we haven't seen trailer or anything, or even been given a release date for Light No Fire as yet. Maybe you've got your own flip-flop issues happening inside of this game. Now, I would say even still, we've got strange little stuff like this happening inside of No Man's Sky, even though it's like a 9-year-old game. And I'm going to show you just some of my own little mini versions of jank that really should have been polished out and fixed long ago inside of No Man's Sky in a moment. You've brought this on yourself, Sean, but at the same time, I'm hoping that you might be able to take this video and iron those out and get them squashed, because they're not big and they're just visual stuff. They're just immersion breaking stuff like this flip-flop thing that you've just brought to light, Sean. Now, funny enough, one of the things is based on, well, you've actually shared this image of a giant skeleton creature that someone has built using free placement of the bones inside of your latest update, the Relics update. Well, I'm going to show you something a little bit janky. Even with that, your latest rendition into the verse has got its own quirky bug with it. So stay tuned, people in the viewerverse, because some of you might not be aware of this bug. So let's jump on over inside a game. Okay, well, sometimes when you're inside the spatial anomaly, you're going to see other players with backpacks that look like this. A jetpack that looks like that normally means that they're wearing a cape, and you just can't see that player's cape inside of multiplayer, which to some people would say that's a little bit janky. Something else that's a little bit dodgy is you can actually fish sometimes, and it comes out with your multi-tool, not your actual rod. You see there, I've got my rod in hand, but sometimes that doesn't actually work like that. Sometimes this happens, and you can be fishing with your multi-tool. I mean, that's definitely not a fishing rod right there, is it? You know? And that can be considered a little bit janky. Okay, now some other people feel that when you get close to one of these hazardous floras, sometimes you can get hit by it when you're nowhere even close to it. I mean, look, I'm still not that close, and I'm hit. And I don't believe I was actually hit. And it's worse with the Venus flytraps. Now, there is another bug. Whenever you go to rescue a stranded life form, when you're running one of these Nexus missions, the actual stranded life form that you assist, occasionally, especially when you're in a group of other players, isn't the same life form that takes off at the end of the mission. And when you're in multiplayer, there's not just one ship there. There's like about 4 ships all vibrating inside of each other where there's the stranded life form. And that mission seems to be proper bugged out. No matter how often I've done the stranded life form mission, I would say maybe, oh, it's not there to show it right now, but I would say at least maybe 4 in 10 when you run it in multiplayer. It's not the same stranded life form that you assist that takes off, and you get ship glitches like I mentioned earlier. This one here that says collect activated emerald, there's a good chance that when I take off and fly on out that's going to turn to activated idiom or activated copper or activated something that isn't emerald. especially when you're inside a multiplayer. We've even had it sometimes where it goes to pick up poo, which is completely different. So this was Emerald when I started. We'll fly out. It'll probably still stay as Emerald because I'm not in multiplayer, but we shall see when I fly out of here. Well, it's warping me to a new system. Lovely jubbly. It's probably going to work just because I'm videoing right now. Okay, and let's have a look, see. So the way that you can usually tell is just by going over to your log, checking your mission. Once you've click check your mission, it will say down at the bottom there. Normally. It's still Emerald. It's still Emerald, so it's actually working this time. But I would say in multiplayer, there is a good chance that that's going to change at some point during the mission from activated Emerald to something else. You know, inside a solo, it's pretty stable. But if you've played this game long enough, you probably know what I mean, people. Now, another thing is you can put down left legs and left arms and stuff like that. But you can't actually put down, because there's no variance of it. I mean, it says view variance, but when you view the variance of it, it just gives you 2 boxes. So if I wanted to put down a left leg now, I can't. You know, I mean, right leg. I've got a left leg, but I can't put down a right leg. So you end up with putting something like this next to it when you're trying to build yourself a skeleton. And it's the same with the arms. So you end up with a right strange looking creature once you've actually built your creature using the free placement of bones. And the real funny thing is on Sean's feed where he was talking about this, he's actually posted an image of a skeleton structure that someone's built on a planet. Here, look, I can put the arm there, look, see? Like so. But I can't actually put on one for the opposite side. So it's kind of a little bit foobarred right now. And the actual placement isn't exactly the best, you know? Well, I'm not very good at doing it anyway. Cool, so okay, let's get another dangling arm. Where's my skeleton gone? There he is. So I'm going to have to stick this on this side. But its shoulder blade's going to be sticking out. And look, it's now got 2 left arms. Which is just bizarre. There we are. That's about as best as a creature you can build right now. And like I was saying, on Sean's feed, someone has actually put up a creature that they've made. And they've had to take it from the left-hand side. Because if you try to take the picture from the right-hand side, it just looks like a bony freaking mess. Because you can't actually select right legs and right arms right now. There's no way to freaking do it. So some people would say that's a little bit janky. I mean, you can make some pretty phenomenal bases. I'm just going to take a moment to blow my own trumpet here by showing you my big mecha Diplo that I built inside of the game, which I think is excellent. I mean, I don't want to bash the game, Sean, but your post kind of makes me think, well, hold on, your game's nearly 10 years old and there's still these sort of like little mini glitches inside of it, which are bigger than a couple of flip-flops. Okay, John, so that's why it's been photographed from the left-hand side of the actual creature, because I'd imagine the right-hand side of this creature is broken to toffee, or they probably haven't even bothered attaching arms and legs on the opposite side. I mean, looking at this, it doesn't look like they have, actually. I can't see limbs on the opposite side of the being, or on the side of the entity, whatever you want to call the dang thing. I don't think it's quite built because of the jank that is still inside of game. So there we go, people. That's kind of everything that I have for you on this, to be fair. I just think people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And I hate to say it, Sean. I mean, because, like I mentioned at the start of this video, this is my favourite game of all time, and I freaking love it. I love No Man's Sky. But at the same time, to say that, you know, the flip-flop issue could be what they're contending with. They might have little areas of jank. They might have some little visual improvements and some oddities to iron out. You're quite right. I just don't know whether you was the right person to highlight this, Sean, with track record and all, you know. I remember Sean Murray saying that he was very proud to work on Black. There was an awesome first-person shooter game called Black, one of my favourite first-person shooter games of all time. And one of the things that Sean Murray was personally responsible for was an animation frame where the legs of the character turned inside out. And he was really happy that it still made it into the actual published version of the game for some reason. I would say that's probably worse than the flip-flop issue, wouldn't you, Mr. Sean of the Morrows? But anyway, there we go, people. That's everything that I have for you on this. See you Monday. Goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again.